Alright, welcome back. As promised, here is the plate with the the Zeus Mark II CL. Didn't do this when we did the actual walkthrough of the ship, so we'll go ahead and do that now. I've actually put the new paint on it that I got when I purchased it, which looks pretty sweet. Saw the previous video, we had the ES. Obviously, flight characteristics are going to be fairly similar, but I'm going to actually take this to the moon, go down to the surface, and fly around a little bit. And obviously, it's not a fighter, but you can get a kind of an idea. Alright, so same as before. HUD is the same between them. The MFDs are the same. I've already switched it in nav mode now, so obviously your mileage may vary. If you're on a server where there's a bunch of people staking out places, you might want to exit in SCM first for as long as you can. So looks like cruising speed's probably around 200. I used a little boost. That's an SCM, obviously. If you're in nav mode, it's a little higher. Um, Obviously, the closer you are to the ground or the planetary space station, spaceport, it's a little slower. Once you get up into atmosphere, it's better. So we'll take a look at Yela. Since we're facing that way. Obviously, you see the tracking coming in there. Being as just the flight characteristics and so forth, I'm not going to eliminate any of it, any of the footage. It's all straight from start to finish. I know Deacons is safe, so we'll go there. Won't get shot at that way. Obviously, we're not going to go to the outpost, but we just want to get down to the moon surface. I've got my limiter on some, so we're not going to go quite as fast right now. I have no interest in smacking nose first into the planet. Overall, it's a pretty impressive little ship. Switch over to SCM, do a little planet surface. Get a little boost going. Get the shields back up just because we are at Yela, so you never know. I mean, you're right around, oh, I don't know, probably 190 to 200, really. This is the new power management. Obviously, clicking on the icon turns that particular feature off. Don't do that to your engines, that's bad. And then you can adjust them on there. There are keybinds for it where you can take it up like a tick at a time. You can set it for like engines, shields, so forth, weapons. You can do like a short press to go one tick up, or go like a long hold to max it out. And as you can see there, you've got a certain amount of output. In the case of the CL, you got 24 ticks basically. Right now, all of mine are being used. So if you're not using your tractor beam much, you might turn that off and then put those into something else like shields, or obviously there'll be a lot of playing around with it and find out what works best for you. So overall, not too bad though. Handles pretty good. Has a pretty good turn. As I said with the ES, you got some pretty good turns rolling. Almost seems like the CL might be just a hair slower, maybe. Of course, that could just be the speed limiter. In case you were wondering, I'm sitting here trying to figure out how to shoot, because this is before I realized you have to remap the fire keybind. Obviously the turret, not as much of an issue. You still could use the mouse. Probably could have used the mouse on the pilot's weapons too, but I don't fly with a mouse, so. It's a little different. Like, it doesn't seem like you're actually in the. There's got to be a way to get where you're actually viewing like from the turret. I'll have to check on that, but for what I can tell, what I've been told, missiles are actually working better too. Had a couple of buddies out flying around yesterday, playing around with them, and chaff and flares and so forth weren't really having as much of an effect on it. So it's almost like the you can see the missiles there in the floor. It's almost like the missiles are going to be a little more dangerous now, even in PvP. Obviously, the turret here, when it says turret for the co-pilot, that is the tractor beam. So you can fly the ship from the co-pilot seat. There we go. So there's the tractor beam. Obviously, I don't have any power on it right now, so it still works as far as looking around, but that's about it. It's got great graphics and animation though. They put a lot of work into this, you can tell. You have to use that swing up from the seat. All right, let's get these key bindings straightened out. There they are. Obviously not going to be using those at the same time, so very rarely am I ever not going to be shooting gun group 1 at the same time. I usually set mine up with, I have the BKB, so I have the tool stage trigger. So I usually set up the first click pull on it is the first fire group, and the second one is the second fire group. There we go. That's better. Fly through some canyons a little bit here. Nothing too dangerous, but you can see it actually works pretty good. I mean, you're not a fighter, but it handles pretty well. At least well enough that I didn't smack into the mountain. Alright, so that gives you kind of a general idea of how it flies. Go ahead and head back and get landed here. And the nav has still got some issues. Jumping to the planet and then having to remap again in order to jump to a location. All right, hear little clicks here and there. If I feel a cough coming on, I'm gonna go ahead and mute the mic for a minute, just so you don't have to listen to me hacking. It's that time of the year, fall, the sinuses start going nuts. Look for the bright light. That's the spaceport. So, ArcCorp has the line of lights. Orison has the big flashing beacon light. I haven't really flown around Hurston very much lately, but I'm sure they've got something there as well. Same with New Babbage. And we'll go ahead and get this landed and get it put away. There it is. Visibility in this is really good too, at least for the pilot. Alright, much like everything the other time, turn off your engines. I don't know if ships are still blowing away, but why take the chance? Yeah, if you're just getting in and out, the ladder works pretty well. Alright, if you have any questions, concerns, so forth, go ahead and let me know. Have a good one.